Welcome everyone to another open source video. I get asked very often, nearly every video, how to get started with some open source stuff, and usually I recommend work on look into the details of what you're interested in or what is immediately broken. Case in point for me, currently stuff is broken. Do I have this in the history? Yes, I should have. So what I knew already for quite some time, that also USB or other protocol, I think Firewire or whatever, has often some bridge and implementation specific implementation details for pass-through, like this self-monitoring analysis and reporting technology of hard drives and solid state drives. And I just wondered, like I have here this portable Raspberry SSD, cable is too short, but I have this for quite some time, and like I always need to add here SAT, I think. So there are, there are many like ATA, SCSI of Linux device interface, NVMe. So usually this is chosen automatically, also based on what device type you specify there. Also probably auto and whatnot. So there are like also like probably, I didn't look into the details of USB Cypress. So it sounds to me as there is USB Cypress, JMicron, USB Prolific, Sun Plus, yada yada yada. Really currently not amazed of all this vendor proprietary, like overseas quick hacks there. And it's of course slightly annoying, right? It could work probably if we patch into smart mount tools the bridge here. So I expect, so let's do that. So basically it's a quick video of another thing, like really currently in my life for 25 years, right? I use something, even in this case, I was actually hoping, like, how long do I have this USB drive? Do I have it 7 years or 5 years? Actually, I probably have it as long as this installation, which is, so we can use NeoFetch. Do you have the latest NeoFetch on here? I have. So that is installed, does it not? Oh, no, 2015. So yeah, probably soon 7 years that I have this USB device, Samsung T2 enclosure. And as usual, I always hope like other people fix something, but currently shown here what, sure, people work on Intel and AMD stuff and Linux kernel, but like if you have some bugs, unfortunately, even with 10,000 open source developers and 20,000 eyes, 7 years later, it's still there. So how to work on this? This should of course be entirely in the user space smart mount tool. So download, so you download that somewhere, right, in your browser. I of course have this here, my T2 cache of as smart mount tools latest version. Probably what we could quickly do is check if that is really the latest version, because sometimes SourceForge. So given that this is SourceForge, also where's the freaking mouse cursor? Should it not become large? Yeah. 7.3, whatever. Let's quickly check if there is. No, 7.3, that is from this year, apparently a year release every so often. So what have I done there? All right, 7.3, best with XF or so. And then so you could, of course, how to proceed. So either you open this in some IDE. Of course, I don't need an IDE, but if you're an IDE person, use Vim or Emacs or Electron, Atom, Kate, Visual Studio for Linux, or other such, whatever. Eclipse? Leave in the comments below. But so basically, I usually, so we know it's some USB bridge, either not like this, smartmon, what was exact message? Maybe with dash or with space. Also capitalization. What USB bridge are you? Where is bridge? Best with a typo. So SCSI ATA, known devices. There is something, do not transfer status byte. Also, yeah, bugs. The only constant is change, regressions, and bugs, and proprietary vendor quirks. Thank you very much. Exactly what recurrently I shout out here, the IT industry, and not only the IT industry, you need this nowhere, right? Whether it's electronics, electric cars, internal combustion cars, spaceships, rockets, flying caps, and stuff like. It's only backfiring and burning eventually you stuff down. Like, don't do proprietary hacks and missing status bytes and stuff. So let's see. I guess that's not here. USB bridge. So this is in, out, needed is set. That looks to be somewhere else. There's also known devices or bridge. What else do we have here? Smart control. So first, it's probably a one-line change of just adding the device ID. We just need to find out where. Oh, best using the... So what do we have there? Known drives, USB bridge. Oh, don't tell me this is, but it sounded USB device ID, right? So nothing like some C++ sprinkled into the Linux, like a rare C++ thing. Do we have USB devices there somewhere? What was it even? Was it SAT of... Yeah, it probably was. So, right. Do we have that somewhere? No? Oh, come on. Part, USB type, USB names. Actually, so yeah, so much do you think it's like a one-liner. But yeah, so sometimes, of course, if you do this not very often, firmware bug T. Yeah, everything you always wanted to know about your USB attached storage drives. Where would be some USB ID? Let's maybe grab for HowTo. Maybe they actually don't even have infrastructure for that. String compare, there is smart control. Scan types, type, if not HowTo, then what? D, string compare test, print types only. Also nothing like some open coded command line parsing stuff, right? 2022, yes, I'm aware this is 20-year-old source code technology, but of course we open code some command line parsing like it is the 90s. Scan type scan, so somehow type is there, not HowTo scan types. Why is this? By the way, does it somehow... But I would think it must have somewhere. The message sounds to me like there should be... Oops, what have I done now? There should be a... Why is this not here? What did I... Oh, maybe this is the wrong file. Oh, this is also... Yeah, okay, fine. Maybe I shouldn't copy that before I'm 100% sure that this will be the final USB bridge. So what do they do here? Smart interface get set device, return ATA SCSI filter for set or USB. Sounds promising. Do they not have? Okay, this is set string compares. This is unknown. Where is unknown bridge? Here, smart get USB def type by ID. Okay, so they have here only. So that is what I was looking for. So I expect some long tail, but apparently they only have here JMicron. So probably that is lookup. Actually, here's another one. They have here known drives. Okay, so it should be known drives where I was previously after all. Lookup USB device. Known drives. Where is this known drives? Or is this this drive DB? So that is probably built-in table of known devices uses the default, if not read from user local share smart one drive dbh. I guess that is this one here. So it is possible to have them. Maybe it doesn't work then because the USB ID potentially changed. Also, yeah, actually this is maybe not very best design. Maybe this is not even easily fixable like that then. Because the problem is maybe the USB ID actually changed because that is a Samsung T2. What? But I changed that, so maybe I wouldn't be surprised if I just don't. I would need to watch my own video. Maybe I noticed because I swapped the internal SATA drive. Maybe it's also. I think in the BIOS it is still reporting T2. Does it support, what was the listing here of, could you just list one of something like that? Otherwise we need, the problem is if I list verbose here, then it's overflowing the stuff with, potentially sometimes this shit is crashing. Oh, like if I would have known that. Ah, shit. Year 2022, and which one was it now? Yeah, it's a little bit much effort for just fixing your one smart control output there. Obviously I don't have two to check that, although do they have like some T2 here? Apparently not. Wouldn't count that. Yeah, you can. I wonder if it originally. I still have this SATA drive device somewhere, the internal one in the office too. But I'm not feeling like swapping that back and welcome everyone, just for this test here. So because the other problem is, if this is purely matching, do they have here? Yeah, so the problem is that this is actually potentially not a very good design. If this is matching, actually wait a second here, there is some, why is this? Actually here is some just SAT, or is this not? I was expecting, okay, maybe that makes some more sense, because I was expecting that to be the vendor device of the storage drive, but apparently that is a USB device. And also additionally, okay, here is some Apple, oh wait, oh this is something Toshiba, Samsung based SSDs. So the problem is, if this matches first, how do they do that here? Samsung SSDs, but maybe that is this another kind of known device? Do they have multiple SCSI versus USB built-in known devices? Okay, let's just maybe patch in. Here's USB, Samsung USB 3 adapter for. Here is T5, S3. So they really have some, but not our T2. This always makes me wonder if no other developer ever had that. So here, like maybe we do that here. Probably used the wrong editor. Somehow I copied the wrong file. Alright, this was somehow db whatever. That is why I usually work inside my T2 environment with fixed file if, because you could also just edit this. Maybe it would be smarter to just edit that and in a new folder and only diff it at the end with a new. So do they have T4? Crucial T4? That's too much random garbage. Thank you very much. So finally, so theoretically that is Samsung T2, just that I'm not sure, does it still? I think for that we probably should more precisely determine. And the crazy thing is, because C is a glorified portable macro preprocessor, C preprocessor. I totally got that. On all my big systems, either LSCP, LSUSB or LSPCI crash nowadays, right? Especially with verbose like 2022, and you run LSUSB or LSPCI verbose and stuff crashes. It's like you had one job in your portable glorified assembler frontend that you called C. It's like, yeah. But listing your USB and PCI devices is difficult. So let's see, how do we specify another device here? Device, do not scan, instead display information. At once, okay, at once. What was USB def? It also groks -d. Okay. Let's hope it works like that and doesn't stall infinite loop. Why does it even freaking works? It says, did I say T2? Apparently that is a T3. So, okay, it shows, it's like, yeah, this listing. This listing is a little bit, only showing the vendor and, okay, so T3, I said, slightly off there. USB, apparently we do that like that or so. Whatever strange syntax that potentially is. Yeah. And then that was -d. Here. But yeah, of course we need to hard code that, right? Also, wait, this was 0, so all the packages usually have their own strict requirements on formatting, so best not make experiments and just do it like they did there. Why do they have their ST, whatever? Nah, whatever. So, that probably should work. Hey, that works. What did it complain with? 6 didn't complain everything. So yeah, as per usual, don't ask what I can do patch and get working on P3, SJ, Octane, or what was the latest question? P3 or Apple Macintosh. Patch is welcome, as is Patreon, GoFundMe, YouTube membership and stuff. And of course, in the meantime, I have like 1,000 amazing fixes in our tiny little unsuccessful yet best Linux distribution out there. So if you want me to spend even more time sending all this 1,000 amazing patches, fixes, quirks, and for configuration marginalities upstream that nobody else does for nearly 7 years, some sponsorship welcome, because otherwise I'm out of time. Diff, SmartMon tools, and otherwise, of course, you find this in one of the best Linux distributions. What was the file? Some dbh, there. And if you also, T2 is the only distribution that supports smart pass-through on Seagate drives. Previous video, right? Because I've wondered, that's globally blacklisted in the Linux kernel for historic and no good reason. I even wanted to send this upstream, but got into discussions with Greg Crow-Hartman and stuff of like, nah, you're not breaking that for smart pass-through for whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so this is how T2 is the only distribution that supports smart ATA pass-through on Seagate USB devices, because obviously, and all the other amazing things in between. So SmartMon tools, SmartMon tools, hotfix or so, T3, hotfix. What is that? Just is it hotfix? I guess the name is relatively good. So we can and should, of course, test this in my system. SmartMon tools. Of course, as so often, the longest take actually finding the right file. At least for me. Well, for you, if you have zero experience and stuff, of course, I already, after 20 years, or even after 5 years back in the day, I knew what to expect and where to find something. But if you are new to this stuff, then maybe it probably takes a little bit longer of reading through the sources and finding the right place. But that is a learning experience, right? That is don't get frustrated with each hour you invest into such kind of research. Is prior knowledge that you accumulate there for future developments of yours and fixes. So see it as I know it can be frustrating, as often is for me here, especially Rust and Cargo, looking at you, but especially for beginners, take it with some positive spin. The more you look into that, the more knowledge you accumulate. So of course we want to SVN add that. Actually, I probably should reuse that. Usually I would use control and stuff to navigate here. Actually, does it even? But that works so strange on Mac OS. What does it even do right now? Yeah, it's like, forgets this on. Why do I even stream on Mac OS? For shitty reasons, obviously. So SVN add. Even the leave in the comments below, how have you ever used some Apple terminal and how frustrated have you been with keyboard shortcut marginalities? Cheers. And there we go. There was a file name, drive.db. Or something like that. Added Samsung T3 USB bridge. And there we have it. Of course, as per usual, it's a fun learning experience. Of course, for me, I never get this time back in my life, right? How long did this took? 25 or so minutes. The sad thing is, it only with the multiplying users of T2 Linux, users out there who just want a working and best Linux distribution. Otherwise, for myself, it would take some 10,000 of times of typing that. Because of course I know I remember to like try some random, like if I have some USB device, try some random things. Actually, I have here a new what is it, T5? Let's see. Slightly wonder where's the USB cable. So what is that? T7. Did I say T5? T7, my new one, my upgrade. 7 years later, I patched what wasn't working for 7 years. Later, what do we have there? Too many micro depths, I think. We think Rust will replace in the Linux kernel. Probably not in the next 10 years. Not replace. There will be some use. But yeah. And Danny says too many micro depths. That is true, and my argument also in the Linux kernel, I guess they use nearly no Rust depths. So not will this cable works? Is what kind of cable? So the problem is with all the knockoff cables, you never know whether this is an Apple cable, but I think it's not an Apple cable. So let's plug in the. Was that even the right? Yeah, that is the right system. Ryzen 7950. And let's see if that one works while we are at it. But although I have the brief recollection that maybe that worked automatically. What would be the difference? So the other is ATA. This one here is NVMe and a newer bridge. So let's that is SDC. So actually it also says unknown USB. Wait, this one also doesn't work. Oops. I thought the irony is the only thing I looked into this because this my new rugged, because professional road warrior and stuff and hacker and it looks cool and stuff. So I only got into this because I just the other week when I got that into the office, I looked into that and was remembered that it's working. I'm actually surprised that this also doesn't work. But nothing like patching that into. It's like that's exactly what we're little bit bonus, right? One more thing actually. I just need to remember to re-implement everything for my microkernel. So was it D? D is also set? No. Or was it so much to? Or did I not get this to work at all? What does it even say here? But that is Samsung, right? 4EA is just what we added. Where is the Samsung there? Yeah, that is 4EA. Interesting. Or was it I couldn't get that to work at all? What other things do we have there? Let's try some ATA. No. SCSI. Only bare. Oh, wait a second. I mean, at least we get something, just not error counter logging not supported. So probably that was not the right path through, I guess. I would think it should do some. That doesn't do something. Thank you very much. And remember, if it is always possible that even if none of those works, that the drive, and that's also a shitty thing, right? 2022 and shit like that, like the most trivial, like why is there not a proper standard where shit like this, like the most technologically unadvanced parameters of like stupid reports, right? Why is there not such a truly universal standard for 20 effing years already that this not rocket science stuff not just work, right? Like this, and I wish there would be more YouTuber like doesn't need to even I mean sure, Linus Torvalds of like thank you very much, but F you for this bullshit. But there needs to be more tech people, which is obviously also why I turned to YouTube, right? I knew this kind of stuff like every day for 25 years I encounter nonsense, brain dead nonsense like this. And 25 years later, I still sit here and wonder, like, what are the big mega corporations thinking? Is it so difficult for Samsung and their suppliers to implement it so that some stuff like that works? And can they not also submit it? I mean, it should be such a standard that it does work and such databases of quirks are not needed. But even if, then at least Samsung should have the dedication and effort for their multi-million, in total of course billion, but million for only storage, at least submitting patches to the Linux kernel and stuff. So what I wanted to say is there's always a possibility that even if none of these crazy combinations work, that the drive still supports that, but nobody figured that protocol out and has implemented that, right? So only thing is, except asking Samsung, which probably they show you the finger and give you nothing, would be if it works with some proprietary Samsung tool on Windows to capture that, for example in VM, and re-implement that, whatever that might be. But let's first continue through USB Cypress, JMicron. Thank you very much. What else do we have there? USB Prolific. What else do we have? Do they not have some Running out of options here. Does test probe all? Test does nothing much. Where did we? I mean, this is some. Are we using the right driver, like UAS or so, or what is that here even? Except some XHCI. How's not responding? Thank you very much. So it is also possible that this is not using the most amazing. Oh no, it is using UAS, so that is USB attached. SCSI, right? Yeah. More. I mean, I'm somewhat inclined to. The best thing would be to just send the stuff back, right? You get some new stuff. It has some proprietary shit like that. Like, is it in your 14 or whatever days legal return window? Like, just return it with, you know what? Thank you very much for this. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm past this 14 days already, though. But yeah. What that PSSD T7? I saw only T5 inside the file. Yeah, but I still try to figure out if some path through is even supported in some way, shape, or form. It should be NVMe though, but SCSI plus type. So SCSI even has. I mean, ATA we tried, right? So SCSI gives you something, but not all. So that does not. I mean, this gives you the base. This is just the SCSI inquiry page, or whatever that stuff is coming from. Mostly inquiry page. It even says. I mean, it ironically even advertises smart support is available. Devices smart capability. I mean, there is always a possibility that the Linux kernel even filters that, right? That you would also need to debug then. Because in the Seagate case, they just dropped this all for all Seagate. So, like, yeah, the internal stuff of whatever controller, I would need to disassemble it. Actually, do they have? I think potentially I saw a disassembly on something like Anantech some weeks ago. So controller is Media. I think I saw there. Behind an S-Media bridge chip, so third category, NVMe SSD or direct UFD controller, S-Media. So yeah, so that probably does do USB, I would think. Here's something. I tried, so someone else. Why does this not work? Cool. Do we have cached? Cached. 2022 and internet is so shitty, you need to. So yeah, others tried that. What have they figured? So yeah, other people tried without luck. So thank you very much, Samsung. Wait a second, is this already... Oh wait, this is not shield, right? So this is I think it's not the same. We have 4,000 and... No, we have 6,000. So that is another one. Further research shows that the drive uses NVMe instead of SATA internally, so none of the above would work. Unfortunately, there is no vendor independent SCSI to NVMe translation protocol like SAT currently supports 2 of the 3 non-vendor protocols. Please try SNT Micron. Amazing stuff, right? Hey, that does something. Does it look reasonable? Doesn't have a temperature. This looks a little bit strange. I'm not sure that this is because it's completely empty. So it looks a little bit zero-ish. So yeah, this is what I meant, other proprietary stuff. So as media, yeah, that it looks pretty zero-ish. So that for sure isn't right. Probably some improper error handling or stuff. Alright, this is... why does this not work? Can't open, can't connect. Oh wait, this was already HTTPS. Thank you very much. Internet in this day and age. All I wanted was... Here's... oh wait, this is not... It might not be this also. Oh, does this load? This loads. Bytec model. I would need to... maybe this is old. This might not be the same. This is probably too old to be NVMe. Which ticket was it? It's a little bit shitty when you freaking stuff doesn't load. It's a little bit... yeah, wonder why. Yeah. That probably it's like 2022 and you need to read websites cached. Provides vendor-specific pass-through. That sounds promising. Do we need to implement this next year? What, did nobody did that so many years? Accepted, close, resolution fixed. Possibly be addressed next year. It's unknown whether any self-tests are supported. New accepted. Was it closed with an 1403? 1403, nothing like reading this. Oh, here's... oh wait, this is just a duplicate of this. I wonder who original report commit source code crystal disk info source code shows the following. Interesting. NVMe edit, USB edit, related ticket. Sorry, no ticket will be left open as unscheduled. Of access paths. NVMe self-tests are not yet implemented regardless. See it. So many people for potentially such a small change. Some vendors to donate hardware for testing. This is speed up close ticket. Just searched. Agreed. Offline remote debugging is offline remote debugging 3 freaking years ago already. Unpaid. It's like, yeah, you think I sound like a broken record of offline remote debugging is costly. My unpaid open source speaker time is very limited. It's like, yeah. So this is, oh wait, here is accepted fixed. Oh, here's a, actually I could have, Well, the question is, maybe there is no release since then, 22 months. That would of course suck a little bit. Also, a recurring pro tip, release early, release often, right? Helps little if this is fixed. Actually, wait. Nah. Wait, 7.3 should be in there or not? Did someone already post there something useful? 7.3. Oh, there is some TS media. Did we not see that in the listing? Yay! It even freaking works. Was it not in the list, or could I just not read? Oh no, there is actually SNT. If I would, darn, if we would have just randomly tried them, or like, not randomly, if we just linearly would have, in order would have tried them, it would probably have been the next one. So yeah, amazing stuff actually already implemented. Media. So that obviously looks much better. Let's patch that in too. Nothing like wasting other people's time like hours here. I only wonder that nobody makes the extra effort to add them to this known files thing there. So vim that again for T3. No. What was the syntax? Something like T3. This is not the patched file. DriveDB. I thought I added that here. This is why. Should have left it open. That probably would have helped me some. So inserting that here, USB 3 adapter. So we had in 7000 ID, and that is after T3 T5, so was it Z, SNT, S Media, Samsung, and that is, then we already little, like, thanks to your sharing, liking, and subscribing, a little bonus of not 1 but 2, actually more than I thought I do today. This one is this one, and that is what, oh wait, this is the wrong one. Must be the wrong one. What am I doing here? Is it this one then? FB? Alright, FB, this one here. It's just from the, obviously if I just plugged into some random USB port, then it is not sorted in some meaningful way. So it has an PSD T7 shield, a little bit name, but so USB shield, and that was B, right? 61 FB. Not, maybe we wouldn't have had to patch this one hex 100 in there, but anyway, so diff that again, theoretically, maybe we don't need 2 patches, that's a little bit overkill. Not. File system. Of course. Maybe you rename that to should we keep hotfix? Nah, maybe just that. Actually, these are already both in that. Yeah, but it's also in general a really disappointing thing that such known database lists are even needed at all. As I said, this should. Did I call this T5 again wrongly? Excuse me. Yeah, that it's even necessary to patch stuff like that. But did they rechange the string from? Oh no, it was SS. So yeah, once upon a time that's Samsung in there, and then not, and then anyway, PSSD because there. So I guess that should do it. 6. And then that's it for this fixes today. And it's certainly much more convenient if stuff just works and you don't need to randomly guess the protocol there and bridge translation protocol and so on. Actually, so yeah, then it actually got a little bit, I mean, not much warmer. Where's the temperature here? 27, yeah, so that, yeah, it's cold to the touch, so but that is through the aluminum case and stuff. But yeah, that is, do you even see that line? Well, maybe do. That it's, yeah, again, it should have, and that is the thing with Microsoft, right? That in Microsoft Windows just YOLO some random driver bullshit. And so all of this stuff should always have been, especially after the first disaster of incompatibility in USB 1 and 2 and storage and stuff, there should have been a standard way in especially USB serial SCSI attached USB. UAS USB attached SCSI. Anyway, it is ridiculous that all this quirks and vendor nonsense exists and is needed, and Microsoft should, in my opinion, have pressured the vendors to have some proper open standards and stuff. But then Microsoft couldn't care less, right? Because the vendors ship some YOLO Windows driver stuff, and it's like the crazy sad thing is that for Microsoft, the more is vendor proprietary just working on Windows bullshit, the better they protect their monopoly, right? Anyway, T2 supports that now. The little extra efforts here that you don't see in other Linux distributions. I hope you learned something, of course, in total with this little excursus to 55 minutes with reading cached Google pages about additional drives. I hope you learned something and enjoyed this. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Patreon, GoFundMe, YouTube membership. We have a new, I think Google approved that. We have a new verified membership level, right? So if you want to become here a verified channel member for just $7.99, certainly more valuable and getting some good value out of that compared to Twitter verification. Hope you learned something and have a good day or night, and see you next time.